Okay, I think we've got everybody in. We're just about to get into the draft screen. Looks like people are ready. Yeah, Crafty Devil's ready. Murda's ready. Okay, starting. Maybe. If I can type right. All right, here we go. It's time to get into a draft. So we are going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Should be a good time. Hopefully everyone's on the right side. So we have Reborn Knights on the left. We have ReGen on the right. Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map. Now these two teams. Oh, where'd that go? Uh-oh. Oh no. Somebody left the lobby. We lost one. Having technical difficulties. Is that a forfeit? Yes. Oh, goodness. All right, so I guess we'll come back here. Hi again, it's me. So Zed disconnected. So these two teams, like I was saying before, it's the number 9 team in Reborn Knights versus the number 5 team in ReGen. Zed is back, so hopefully he's good to go. We'll try this again. Rising likes acting out. I don't know what that means even, but all right, I think that we're good to go again. So, ready? Everyone good? Everybody ready? Let's do this. Everybody ready? I'm going to take 2 here on starting the game. Hopefully we can actually get into draft this time. All right. So, here's what we know about our team so far. I know that ReGen has a love of the double tank. They seem to have played a lot of it in their last several games. I know, I turned my music off and I'm not singing. I'm terrible. So they play a lot of double tanks, a lot of Genji. Both teams, interestingly, have quite the Stukov game, with Lucio coming in a little bit ahead as a ReGen pick, but Reborn Knights has been known to pick him up. On Tomb of the Spider Queen, it's a small map. Lucio can really have a lot of advantage here because he can help his team move quickly back and forth, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And if they want to go with that. Reborn Knights has played a lot of ETC. He's a very popular tank. They've played 5 of their games have had ETC in them. 2 with Murd and 1 with a noob. If they go double tank, they tend to take an Arthas, and they have already banned out the Lucio. They just don't want to even deal with that. ReGen is like, no, thank you, Reborn Knights. We're just going to take Lucio off the table. So we'll see what Reborn Knights wants to get rid of. Stukov is the next biggest healer for both teams. It'll be interesting to see if either one of them take a first pick. Hanzo, they do not want to deal with Hanzo. I didn't see a lot of Hanzo from either of these teams, but he is pretty solid. They haven't picked it yet. They're thinking about it. They're considering if they want to ban out the Hanzo here. You know, with the way that he can do scatter shots and his buffs and his W build, he can definitely be pretty rough. He can take down spiders and bosses pretty quickly, so it's not too bad. So it definitely would be a solid pick. They're taking their time. They want to kind of talk about how they want to play the game, so that's a good thing. Highmaker on Reborn Knights tends to be their mage player. Gul'dan, Kal'Thuzad, Chromie. This is always a fun Chromie map, so it'll be interesting to see if they try to do that. And ReGen goes right in with the Genji. I was wondering if they would. I noticed that they did have a bit of a Genji game. They have played him several times. They like to pick Genji and a mage as their DPS. This does give Reborn Knights the opportunity to pick Stukov, which is one of the 2 healers they've seemed to really enjoy using. Whether or not they'll decide to prioritize that, they're going to go for that Greymane and ETC. I haven't seen an ETC yet from Reborn Knights, so that'll be pretty fun to see how they do. ReGen will have to answer that, but they may not prioritize a tank. We'll just kind of see how that goes. Muradin and Nubarak seem to be their other tanks. Diablo, of course, is always really popular. We don't have game sounds? Really? Let's fix that. Why don't we have game sounds? I can fix that, I think. Let's see. Okay, that should have fixed it, so let me know if that does not fix the game sounds, because it should. That'll be a serious bummer if it doesn't. I will be sad if it's not. So we get Sonya and Gul'dan. Both of those are really solid on Tomb. Sonya can really clear up. She's just great as a solo pusher. Gul'dan puts out tons of damage. Combine that with a Genji to finish off anyone who's low, and that's a lot of potential damage there. So we don't have a healer yet or a tank yet for ReGen, really. So Reborn Knights has to decide what they don't want to deal with here. They do get the next two picks, so they can also kind of ban something they don't want and hope that what they do want doesn't get banned out. So they have an opportunity to deny a fair bit here. So we'll kind of see how that goes. It was interesting to see how the teams take all the time to get that done. Oh, goodness. They are going to ban out the Stukov, so they don't want them to have the Stukov. So Stukov and Lucio have been banned out. That is really interesting. When I was going through some of ReGen's old games, I saw they did use Ana occasionally, so that's a possibility. With the ETC, Malfurion goes really well with him for the roots. He's also really great at, when he does Moonfire, he gets healing, so he can really help kind of keep a team up as well as deal some damage. So that's a possibility of a healer there. So now we're kind of going to see what ReGen is thinking they don't want to deal with. Neither team has picked a healer yet, which isn't terribly surprising. There are a lot of supports available in the game. Alexstrasza could be interesting, particularly if you get Diablo as a tank. Malthael, they do not want to deal with a Malthael. So that could indicate that they are looking at a beefy tank. With the Sonya and another tank, that does give Malthael a lot of good targets. Genji and Gul'dan won't really play into that. They're generally out of the range of Malthael, but Malthael can beat Sonya in the solo lane, so maybe they don't want to deal with that. Oh, good. It seems like my sound was fixed. Hello, everyone who's just joined in. I just waved at you like my camera's on, but it's not. All right. So, Reborn Knights here can either, pick another DPS and a healer. They could go the bruiser route. They don't really have their solo lane yet. Greymane can solo lane, but he's not ideal for it. Blaze is now live for NGS as of Tuesday, so we could look and see if someone wants to bring that Blaze game in. That's always a possibility of something that could happen. Leoric and Uther. All right. I love Leoric. Leoric is great in the solo lane. He can put his spooky hand on people. He can bring Entomb, although really the March is quite powerful these days. When he goes Ghost form, he can talent it into decreasing the damage that his team is taking. So he can kind of Ghost form over the enemy team in his little whoosh that he does. And when he does that, they get kind of a debuff that makes them do less damage. It's a lot harder to kill a team if you're doing half the damage. Game sounds are still quiet, Jester says. Let me see if I can make them louder. I'm not really sure why they're quiet, but I will do what I can to make them louder. He's just going to have to let me know if that is working for them. It could also be my settings. I tend to keep my game sounds kind of low, so it could also just be that I need to turn up my game sounds.
I shall do what
For the frozen throne!
So let me know if that's better. When I'm playing, I just don't like them really loud. Yes, I do know that I can't type when I maximize my screen. So I'm not terribly worried about that in general. So they went with the Alexstrasza and the Anubarak. So Anubarak, Sonya, Gul'dan, Genji, Alexstrasza. They can easily cocoon out the Greymane if he jumps in, and man, if he jumps in and gets cocooned, that is probably a dead Greymane. Between the Sonya and the stuns from Anubarak and Gul'dan there to just dump damage upon him. So Greymane's got to be thinking that.
this realm needs me.
Reborn Knights is going to pick up the Ming. They're going to hope to get some resets. With Uther and ETC, we have to wonder if they're going to go for a Divine Mosh where he can't be interrupted. That's also possible. So it looks kind of like that's where we're going. It would have been interesting to see something like a Rag, but I think that would have given them too much melee on either team. They were already pretty melee heavy. So here we go. We are going to get into the game. So like I said, hopefully it shows up correctly on my stream. Oh, I can flip my scenes real quick here. As soon as I figure that out. There we go. All right, so we're going to have Reborn Knights over on the left side. And ReGen is going to be on the right. Pretty excited to see these two teams face off. I always wonder if Alexstrasza is going to go into the real healing build or if she's going to work on healing bombs and damage bombs. Personally, I find the bombs fun. Really gets her out of the way, can save her life, as well as heal up her enemies.
The battle begins shortly.
So on the red team, which is ReGen, we are going to have Frost Absol on the Alexstrasza, Murda on the Sonya, So Lucky on the Genji, Rising Star on Anubarak, and Danks on the Gul'dan.
Battle begins
And then on the blue team, we've got the Pie Maker on Li Ming, Subway Slayer on Leoric, Crafty Devil on Greymane, Z-Doc on the Uther, and Master Conductor on the ETC. And it looks like Reborn Knights is opting not to take all 5 to the mid. They're going to go ahead and start with Leoric down bot. Now it is a small map, so if some sort of fight comes out, he could always jump up. But it looks like they're just gonna dance in the middle here a little bit and not really have a lot happen. Sonya's gonna go ahead and go down to bot lane. Gul'dan's gonna throw out a little damage, but nothing too exciting yet. I like the heart for ETC. Greymane's gonna go ahead and rotate up. But it looks like ReGen is gonna be working on the 4-man rotation. The goal there is to kind of clear things quickly and then move it down. Reborn Knights is sort of doing that, but a little slow. Oh, there is a pause in the game. High Maker needed to pause, it looks like. I wonder if Zed disconnected again. Let's find out what's going on there. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, I may have to remake the game. Apparently we are on a Western server, and I don't actually know how to fix that, but we'll fix it, yeah. Sure. All right, they are getting apparently a lot of lag, so we're going to restart the game. Sorry for that confusion. All right. We'll just remake the lobby. Apparently that's a thing. No, I don't want to rejoin it. I want to make a new one. Oh my goodness, we're having so much fun. Let's try that again. See if I can figure this out. How do you change the servers? Not really sure. How do we change the server? I know how to do this part, but I don't know how to put it on a server. You do a... You do a server. Let me figure that out. I do not. Word is like, do you not do that? I do not know how to do that. They're going to help me figure that out. Sure. All right, Pie Maker's going to make it and invite me to it because I don't know how to do that. Hit. Oh, it's over here. All right. See, things I'm learning. Are we having fun yet? Somewhere. Language and region. Oh, I see. You know, I did not even realize that was a thing. Okay, I see how to do it. You already made a thing, so it's fine. And I don't really normally want to be on the server, so that's fine too. Sorry about that. I totally forgot that was even a thing. All right. Having a good time. Are we having fun yet? I guess I could, like, do the lobby screen or whatever, right? Oh, yeah. We can just do standard because they don't need a draft. They don't need a draft, so we're going to obviously skip the draft thing and just go straight in. Where it says he's ready, waiting for the other team to be ready. See if everybody's ready. Okay. Take two.
Yours.
All right. Well, that was exciting. All right. Yes, thank you, Jason. I've never done it before, so I didn't even think about that part of it. We're gonna call it first time caster problems. First time caster problems. Also, hi Jason. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the confusion. Oh, I have to hit the start game. That's my job, isn't it? So there's another button there. All right, here we go. Take two. We got this. I feel like I don't really need to introduce everyone because we already did that. So I'm just gonna kind of let it go. Yeah, so now we all know how to set regions on the game. I have to remember to go back and set it to Western when it's my turn to play the game again because I don't want to play on central servers. But that was really interesting to see where I could see Western had 15 millisecond ping for me and the other server had like 60 something. And I believe NGS rules does state that you're supposed to be on central servers unless the teams request otherwise, which makes complete sense. I just never even thought about it. So that is what we ended up doing, Jester. And thank you for pointing that out. All right, so once again, teams have not changed. We have Pie Maker on Li Ming, Crafty Devil on Greymane, Master Conductor on ETC, Zedok on Uther, Subway Slayer on Leoric. And on ReGen, we have Frost Absol on Alex Straza, Danks on Gul'dan, So Lucky on Genji, Rising Star on Anubrak, and Murda on that Sonya. Sonya and Leoric are just going to start bottom this time. They don't even want to dance in the middle. They're like, you know what? We're not even going to worry about it. A little bit of good sportsmanship chatter going on. So, in general, most teams on this map like to do the 4-man rotation. It allows them to kind of quickly clear those top 2 lanes. The bottom lane can come in as they want. Genji's kind of trying to get some damage in, but nothing really happening there. Greymane does seem to be ahead of his team. It seems like Reborn Knights is not sure they really want to do the 4-man rotation. they're kind of sort of thinking about it, whereas ReGen seems pretty tight on theirs. Down in the bot lane, nothing much happening down there. Just getting some spin to win time going on. Greymane is definitely working on keeping that top lane pushed, while the 3 in the middle kind of responding to that 4-man. Alexstrasza is an interesting healer. She lays her circles on the ground. You have to stand in them. It does leave some room for things to get placed on top of that circle. You can kind of target that circle and run the team out of it so they miss that heal. It's like a 3-second delay for that heal to go down. And so, you know, if you can get everybody to run off of it, you can definitely mess up her output that way. We can look at talents. I can put that up. And she is going into the healing build. She is not going into the throwing the flames at everybody's face and stacking that. Instead, she is collecting the regen globes so that she can do more abundance. Now, my understanding, I don't play a lot of Alexstrasza, but my understanding is you want to try to keep yourself above 75% when you're doing that build, but it makes you heal your team a lot more. So, I wonder if that means we'll be seeing her regen ult instead of the healing bombs. Gul'dan, meanwhile, just throwing some stuff out at Uther, but he's going to back up. It will be interesting to see how Uther goes against a Gul'dan. You know, Gul'dan does a lot of dot damage. Uther's heals are not as dot friendly, but he does bring a hard stun, which could cause problems for them. Along with ETC, they could get some pretty significant stun lock going on. Gul'dan's dropping pretty low. Some of that he does himself. Cocktail build coming out from Greymane, as expected. Prog Rock from ETC. Nothing really unexpected so far. There's that exuberance we were talking about with the 75% health. It also gives her some mood speed. Uther is coming under a fair bit of damage yet. He is going to get out. That ETC side will save him from the Genji. ReGen has already taken a camp, though. They're starting to put some pretty good pressure with that Sonya. Sonya who went to take the camp? Honestly, I didn't see it. Might have been Greymane. You know, they're going to take a fair bit of damage. Experience is still pretty even, so they haven't gained a lot from it. Gul'dan is in a fair bit of trouble there. But he is going to make it out safe. They're just kind of back and forthing a little bit. Both teams are doing really well on collecting gems, but they haven't gotten them in to get spiders yet. Down in the bot lane, nothing much is happening there. Nubrak has 32 gems, so he is definitely gem hoarding on the Rising Star. That would be definitely a high priority target, I would think, for Reborn Knights. Reborn Knights gems are a little bit more spread out, although ETC has a fair number of them. Did Leo get ganked? Alright. Sonya's turning in gems there. Rising Star is going to try to turn in gems, but Reborn Knight scopes that out. Comes in and stops them. Murd is going to have to just kind of give up on that one for now, although he doesn't want Subway Slayer turning his in either. Mid lane, Genji and Greymane exchanging a little fire, but nothing too significant. Both teams just trying to figure out how to get a turn in right now. Nubrak almost got that off. Turn off his talent. And the blue team managed to get theirs turned in. So we're going to get blue reds. Oh, but we paused again. Oh, Frost left the game. All right. So the Alexstrasza has vacated the premises. Yeah. Oh, and she's back. See if we can get them going. So, blue web weavers are going to be the first. It is level 7, 5-minute web weavers. They aren't too dangerous yet. Oh, thank you, Jester, for pointing out the obvious to me. About Greymane couldn't have gotten the camp because he's blue. So 5-minute web weavers, not too. They can be defended against pretty easily. I always find it interesting to see how teams decide to defend web weavers. Top lane is historically the lane you want to push in Tomb because the boss is up there and it can provide a lot of pressure that way. However, I see a lot of teams rotate down and take the bottom fort if they get early web weavers just to give themselves that building and XP advantage because teams tend to go and defend against their top lane because they understand its value. Sometimes if they see the whole team rotating down to bot lane, then the team will go defend the bot lane and then you get some pretty decent value in the top lane web weaver if it's left ignored. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Okay. Nope, that's the wrong key. That. Pause break key? Nope, that's not what I want to do. There we go. That was not exactly how smooth as I wanted it to go. But we're back. So blue web weavers, the red team is going to be up in the top lane, it looks like. But only 3 of the members. Why is it doing that? Okay, there we go. So red team is going to be defending it. Blue team is working on pushing this top lane. Leoric is still bottom lane against the Sonya. I feel like they're going to make pretty quick work of this web weaver with Gul'dan able to kind of just push it out. Genji's going to come up, see if they can get something going on here, kind of help defend against it. Blue team is just going to walk away. They're going to be happy to have gotten that wall, and they're going to back out. Meanwhile, the mid web weaver is still going. They've also gotten this mid wall. They are approaching 10s pretty rapidly, so ReGen has to be kind of feeling like if they want to take a fight, they're going to need to do it pretty soon. Lan is putting out a fair bit of damage. Genji goes in, but he's not going to get much done. He's going to just leap over the wall. Sonya's coming up. Throw a little damage on Li Ming, but then back away. They're just going to kind of let him walk away. They also lost their front wall on bot, so their forts are now all open. Mid fort has a fair bit of damage on it. We're going to have an argument down here at the bottom lane. Genji's going in, but no real damage going out there. Anubrak's trying to get turned in. He's sitting on 43 gems. He really does not want to lose those, and he does get turned in, so now red gets a turn with the web weavers. Oh, I'm the only one that can unpause? Haha. I didn't know that either. I'm learning all kinds of things tonight. Alright. The red team is also going to head up here to the top lane. They're all just really wanting to get some even out this top lane to kind of prep for later game activities. Blue team, meanwhile, is going to defend the mid first. They're just having Greymane right now shooting some shots. Anubrak is actually going to dive, and he's going to be on that Greymane. Greymane gets the Divine Shield. ETC comes in. Alexstrasza has popped Dragon, but then they just kind of disengage. Not really looking for a fight here yet. Sonya's still mid. Leoric's still bot, cleaning up that web weaver. I'll just kind of walk around. If we look at 10s, you can see Li Ming did go with Disintegrate. Greymane actually went for a go for the throat. He's going to want to try to get on that Gul'dan when Gul'dan gets low and try to take him out of the fight. ETC did go for the Mosh Pit. Divine Shield obviously for Uther. We saw that come out. Entomb for the Leoric. So he wants to try to isolate someone out. Anubrak can get out of that. Genji can get out of that. Alexstrasza went with Cleansing Flame. So she is going to be dropping the healing bombs, which is my personal favorite. I do really enjoy that. Horrify for Gul'dan, nothing too exciting. Yeah, so everything as we expected. Sonya did go leap, so she can kind of jump onto someone, try to stun them out of a team fight. Leoric got picked off right there, trying to stop this turn-in. And both teams are pretty close to more Web Weavers. Blue team gets it in first. So we're going to get some blue Red Weavers. They're just kind of back and forth. The screen is paused. What screen is paused? Oh, probably not anymore. All right. Red team is going to start off by defending bot lane, it looks like. They're going to just kind of leave Genji here near mid. He takes a big hit from that cocktail. Wow, lots of damage there. Mid fort is basically gone. That is such a dead fort. They're going to start getting some creep pressure with that mid Web Weaver, but it looks like blue team... Nope, they are going to stick with it. A new Barak is coming in. He's going to zoom on through. He doesn't want to get caught out. Sonya actually is doing some work on the bottom fort. Maybe trying to get them 13. She's backing up now for a fight, though. Top Web Weaver is just sitting there. They've got the front wall down. 13s are quickly approaching for Reborn Knights. But also for ReGen, they're not far behind. Leoric lands a spooky hand on a new Barak, but it's not going to do too much to him. Gul'dan is trying to throw some damage out. They do still have almost all of their ults up except for the Horrify and Leoric's Entomb, which didn't really net them very much. They're going to go up top and clean up this blue Web Weaver. They didn't even lose the wall up top, so they're probably pretty pleased with that. They are at a somewhat significant building disadvantage now, though, only having their bottom fort still up. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that the Greymane did not go bullet as well, but I'm thinking he probably wants to take out Gul'dan when Gul'dan gets low. You know, Gul'dan taps his own life to keep up with mana, so a lot of times he'll drop low. Alexstrasza is actually pretty good for him because he can stand in her healing circle and she can kind of act as a mana battery. So ReGen is working on this camp. It looks like Reborn Knights is going to invade. ETC is in there. He's going to mosh, but the mosh is immediately interrupted. Cocoon goes out. Lots of damage going in. Dragon Blade is being used. So much damage from the Dragon Blade. Sonya is going really low, but she's still hanging in there. Leoric falls. More resets for Genji. That is 4 down, and I don't think ETC is getting out of there. Oh, he did. They are going to let ETC go, but they are going to get both of the forts and probably a fair bit of keep pressure from this wave. So ReGen has to be pretty happy with how that fight went for them. Yeah, they did go mosh, so that mosh got interrupted immediately, unfortunately. So yeah, like I said, this top Web Weaver already on the camp. Reborn Knights is back up. They can mount a defense here, but they have definitely, you know, they're even on buildings now, and they still have to clean up a bot Web Weaver as well as a camp, which is going to give ReGen the opportunity to head for the boss, especially since they're 16. We can kind of look and see where we're heading with hero damage. ReGen is just waiting for that boss to spawn. It's always interesting to see all that. The boss is on. They do know that they're there. Looks like they're debating if they want to try to do anything about it. TC has 18 seconds till he has mosh. They're just going to walk away and prepare to defend this. That's probably smart. You don't really want to do that. If they died here with that boss up, that could just give the game right on over to ReGen. So I can definitely see where that would be a problem. Alright, so ReGen is going to push in with this boss. Hoping to get a keep down. They want to get that catapult pressure going. They are 2 levels up, but 16s are just around the corner for Reborn Knights. As soon as they get on an even talent tier, they probably will be a little more willing to take a fight. Genji's going to go in. He's going to just come right back out. Ults are up for everybody. Reborn Knights could opt to walk past this boss, accept that the keep is down, and take a fight on top of ReGen. Doesn't look like they're going to do that. They're going to just kind of wait, poke this boss down.
Blue team's core is
Alexstrasza did go ahead and... that was just her regular circle. It was not a bomb. Looked like a bomb for a second. Alright, so 16s have been picked up for Reborn Knights. They are down keep now, so they're going to have to worry about top lane catapult pressure. I really feel like Leoric would have benefited a little bit more from March to give his team a little extra damage and push them off. I'm not really sure how Entomb's going to benefit them. I mean, in theory, Greymane and Li Ming could gank someone, but not as well as, for instance, Genji could. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but that's neither here nor there. Blue's camp is going to be cleaned up pretty quickly. Leoric is clearing catapults on the top. Red has more web weavers coming in, so they're just going to be pushing in once again. Blue, unfortunately, Reborn Knights just kind of has to defend this. Work on keeping it up. They do move back to their keep. They don't want to fight them out in the open, which is smart. They don't have walls on any of their keeps. Bot does have a wall, but it won't for long. So ReGen is kind of pushing in bot, trying to force Reborn Knights to come to the fight that they want. Leoric is clearing up that mid web weaver. They're going to have that top one pushing in on their core soon. A new Brock is coming in, stunning the ETC, but there's no real follow-up for that yet. Gul'dan is throwing out damage, but I feel like ReGen really needs to try to make something happen, but unfortunately they have a web weaver on their core along with a catapult. They might want to clear that up. A new Barat goes in. ETC comes in. The Entomb goes out. Genji is coming in the back. Li Ming gets out of there. Sonya is in, and Vulnerable goes down on to the Greymane, but Leoric is down. Mosh is interrupted once again. Oh, Reborn Knights is very low. Core is dropping rapidly. ReGen, Murda is going on the keep, but it looks like no, they are making the call to head to core, and it looks like this is going to be, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to be game one for ReGen. Gul'dan does go down. Yes, game one does go to ReGen. All right. It was an interesting game. I feel like Leoric might could have gotten a little bit more done with March of the Black King over the Entomb, but I think they just never were quite able to find a pick target that they really wanted to land that on. Sonya, so many stuns, man. Sonya was definitely on point with the stuns, so I think I have the lobby stuff fixed. Let me do this real quick. Look how shiny that is. I'm not really going anywhere. I'm just going to make a lobby. I will be right back. All right, so I think I have the lobby set up correctly this time. So we're gonna get everybody in here, get the lobby going. Second map that we are going to is Infernal Shrines. That's the map that ReGen picked, which means that Reborn Knights will be getting first pick this time. Let's do some team swapping here. Everybody on the right teams. Is that yeah. Alright. And Reborn Knights is going to get first pick this time because it's ReGen's map. So I have that set correctly. Okay. Crown on Murda. Murda's ready. Looks like Murda's team is ready. Let's see if Reborn Knights is ready. Okay, we are going to just go right into this next game. They don't even want downtime. So, that's pretty cool. So, Infernal Shrines. This is one of my personal favorite maps. I love just about everything about it. Capturing the shrines, all the little things, the giant punishers, the way they jump on your face. I don't actually like that because I play a lot of mages and it really hurts. I let Recon handle the face jumping. Maybe Sierras. Alright, they are going to start off by banning the Genji. Reborn Knights does not want to deal with that again. They were like, no thank you. We don't want any more Dragon Blades. No Shamata for you. We'll see if ReGen opts to ban out the Hanzo again. Hanzo is pretty good on this map, again, with his ability to do a fair bit of AoE damage as well as single target damage. He's never a bad ban here. I would say ETC is always a solid ban, but ReGen didn't really seem to struggle against the ETC. And they are going to ban out the Hanzo brothers. They do not want to deal with either of the Shamata brothers today. So, there's that. Alright, so now we come to picking. Reborn Knights... they have played a fair bit of Dahaka. No. They played a fair bit of Muradin in the past, as well as Arthas. Arthas is always really good on this map. His ability to do AoE damage, some slows may help get that team held still a little bit better. They could opt to take the Sonya for themselves. Sonya is fantastic on this map, even after her recent nerf. She still, as you saw last game, does a lot of damage, and they are, in fact, going to take the Sonya. So they have banned out the Genji and taken the Sonya. They have thrown down the gauntlet to ReGen, and they want to see if they can beat them at their own game. So now ReGen, they get to decide where they want to go with this. ETC is still open. ReGen has played a bit of ETC. They've played a lot of Arthas and Dahaka and Joe, as well as Anub. I am a big fan of Arthas on this map. Leoric can also be really good on this map. They're going to start with the Greymane and the Lucio, though. They really want to be prepared. They're just going to be like, all right, you took our Sonya, we'll take your Greymane. It's on. Okay. Just some reversing there. That should be interesting. I love the pink Lucio skin, as an aside. It's one of my personal favorites. Little frog face. I just think it's great. Everything about it. So along with the Sonya, Stukov is actually a great healer on this map. Because you're fighting on those shrines, Stukov, especially if he takes the extra range on his silence, he can definitely quiet people out. And wreak havoc. Man, a Greymane tries to dive in, and then he dives into that silence, and he just can't get a lot done, and he's dead. So Stukov wouldn't be a bad choice here. And they are going to go ahead and grab the Stukov. I wonder if they're going to take the ETC again. They are! Look at that. I think that's a solid start to a core, and it gives them a lot of flexibility with where they want to go for their damage. They could look at something like a Jaina. They could look at the Gul'dan or even the Ming. One of these teams had a KTZ game. think it was actually Piemaker played KTZ in one game. Possibility. So ReGen has to decide what they don't want to deal with. Obviously, they've already got a main tank and a healer and Sonya, so we're probably not looking at an Arthas. So they can really just kind of pick a DPS they don't want to manage, or a specialist. Gul'dan. They don't want to deal with the Gul'dan, all those dots. All right, and Mouthfeel ban coming out, or at least thinking about it. Yep, there it is. Mouthfeel is a solid ban on this map. He is also really good at taking down the minions, but also at diving in on their ETC Stukov and Sonya and just ripping through them. So it's a reasonable ban. If you were going to go melee heavy in your comp, it is always a good plan to ban out a Mouthfeel, because man, he can just cause damage all over your face.
Change is upon us.
Alright, and we get the Dahaka and the Kael'thas on the side of ReGen. Kael'thas, probably not going to go Pyromass. I'd imagine he's going to go Phoenix Flames on this map, because you throw that flame down on the shrine, and it can help you really get those wins. Also, when you've got a lot of melee, like you do on the side of Reborn Knights, throwing a Kael'thas into the mix on the enemy team means that you need to be really aware of positioning and spreading apart, so you don't share bombs with each other. Watching a team blow itself up is always entertaining when you're the Kael'thas, but it's not so entertaining when you are the one spreading the bombs. So they're going to have to be definitely aware of that. Dahaka allows them to have a global presence.
I'm here to help.
They are going to take the Jaina to go with that ETC, and Tychus. So I'm guessing that ReGen is going to pick a main tank here. They could still go with an Arthas, although it doesn't give them quite as much control as, say, a Diablo or a Muradin might. So we'll kind of see how they want to go. They could go Joe here, but Joe can't really follow in her team as well, and Greymane sometimes needs someone who can follow in and peel for him. Someone like Diablo is really good for that. Arthas can absolutely help a Greymane secure kills, just because people can't get away from anywhere as easily with his slows that he does. So that's a potential pick there. They're going to just think about it. Personally, I'm a big fan of Jaina with ETC. If he can land a mosh and not get interrupted out of it, she can throw down a ring and just absolutely melt their face. Tychus, lately a lot of people have been going with the laser. I mean, with Odin over the laser, but with a Johanna and a Dahaka, laser would allow him to still use his minigun trait. When he's in Odin form, he can't use his minigun trait. And I'm just not really sure that it's not wise for him to go that way. But we'll see what he does. JoJo is not a bad choice. She's really good against ETC. Even if she gets caught in his mosh, if she can hit her W before she's stunned, she can stun him out of it. So that's always good. A lot of Joes have been going Falling Sword lately. I'm still a big fan of the stun on her. She's lost a little bit of popularity since some changes to her since her rework, but she's still a really solid tank. Particularly if you're going for a little bit more of a pokey comp, I imagine we're going to see Greymane with that cocktail build again, and then kind of going in for a finishing move. It'll be interesting to see if he opts for the bullet or go for the throat. Go for the throat would let him get on that Jaina and take her out, or even on the Stukov, although that's a little harder. But I don't know that it's his best option. I think the bullet might be a better option for him against this particular team, because there's just so much melee. So we'll see how it goes. The last game, the teams did really well. They kept it fairly close kind of up until the end, and then at the end, the last, about 14, 15 on for ReGen, they just kind of took off and controlled the map pretty heavily from there. So we'll see if this map plays out any differently.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
All right. So, for ReGen, we are going to have Lucio is going to be played by Frost Absol. Johanna is going to be played by Rising Star. So Lucky is going to be on the Greymane, Murda on the Dehaka, and Danks on the Kael'thas. And for Reborn Knights, we're going to have the Pie Maker on Tychus, Zdoc on Stukov, Subway Slayer on Sonya, Mr. Conductor on ETC, and Crafty Devil on Jaina. Looks like they are considering everybody going dance in the mid this time. Oh no, Dehaka's going to waddle on up. And he is walking, he's not Zing in, which is nice. Sometimes I see Dehaka Z in, and then they can't Z into a fight if they need to. Lots of sprays going out everywhere. Sprays and danger pings. Alright, Johanna's just going to cause a little trouble. Kael'thas is going to throw down some fire. Jaina with her Christmas skin. And it looks like ReGen is once again going for that 4-man rotation between the mid and top. Reborn Knights seems like they're less certain of that. They like to leave one person in the lane at all times. They tend to do more of a 1-3-1 or a 1-2-2 laning style. Either one can work. Early game, they certainly kept their level advantage pretty well, so that did work for them. They've got Jaina down there solo right now. With the 4-man rotation and Lucio making them so fast, if she doesn't back up, she's going to find herself ganked. But she does back up. She was like, nope, I'm going to just nope out of there. Sonya and Dehaka are just kind of going at each other here in the top lane. Reborn Knights definitely, ReGen definitely looks sharp with their 4-man rotation. They're quick on it. They're not backing up and taking the safe roads. Greymane and Lucio are going to go ahead and take their camp. Jaina's going to back up. She doesn't want to deal with any of that. Look at talents. So we have Tychus with his press the advantage. Bigger arm for Stukov, block for Sonya, Prog Rock. Jaina's going Fingers of Frost. She wants that extra damage once she gets her quest done. Increased speed moving for Lucio. He wants to get to those lanes quickly. Laws of Hope, cocktail build once again for the Greymane, tissue regeneration, and mana addict. So Kael'thas did not go convection, which makes sense. Jaina just got totally caught out there. Sorry that I missed that while I was looking at talents. She just got caught out on that rotation, did not get back. He definitely smelled her out. And they're going to go ahead and use that advantage to take that camp down bot for themselves. They're just gonna get themselves on that side of the map. ETC is not going to do anything about it. He's just going to let that happen. They're going to prepare to defend.
A hero has left the battle.
Looks like Zdoc disconnected. If they want us to pause. Yeah, there it is. All right. Zdoc disconnected. There's been a lot of internet things tonight. So hopefully he'll be back quickly. So back to, can I pull up talents while this is going on? I can. So with Johanna, the nice thing about a Johanna with an ETC is she can clump them all in, which means he can more easily land his stuff. Oh, do I have the wrong overlay up? Let me fix that. Thank you. I do. There we go. Oh, and I should fix the other thing too. Oh, but now my name's went away. There we go. Look at that. All fixed. I didn't even change the maps, did I? I am the worst at this. So the maps are all wrong on the top because I totally forgot that part of my entire setup, but at least the other stuff is right. Computer crashed. Okay, so we have a computer crash. We're just going to wait. Okay. So that's fine. Let me see if we're fixed now otherwise. It's like otherwise the overlay is now fixed, so that's good. Other than me forgetting to fix the maps. Do that real quick. Ha! Maps are fixed. You totally never ever noticed that they were not correct, right? Alright, so we are just going to be waiting here for that to happen. Ooh, where am I going? Just going to take a party. While that's going on, I'm going to put some background music on while we wait. Just so it's not dead silent in here with me talking to myself. Technical difficulties. All right, so while we're waiting, yeah, Fingers of Frost is a personal favorite of mine. She gets that 10% extra damage. Of course, with the Frostbite, with the quest with Jaina, she can now get Ice Block once she hits 15k damage on the enemy team. 2 chilled targets, so the targets have to be chilled first before she can get any damage counting for that particular quest. Cocktail build is pretty typical. One who collects means that he's going to collect essence more often. Kel'Thas is doing pretty well in his Mana Addict quest. With the globe changes and the laning changes, it really makes a lot of those globe collection quests easier to happen. So Sonya took block and focused attack. Focused attack lets her basic attacks do more damage. Block gives her a little more survivability during team fights. A lot of people like to take the one that lets her heal on basic attacks. That's another real common one that you see for her. Either of them can work. I don't play a ton of Sonya, but I have friends that do, and they tell me that block really gives them that extra sustain in team fights, and it makes up for not having the healing. Looks like ZDoc has rejoined, so now we're just waiting on it to catch up to the stream data, and then we'll be restarting the game in just a minute here. I've even figured out which key to press so we can get it back on the road, so we should be fine. Next time I do this, at least the tech part will be smoother, so that's a good thing, right? All right, so when it comes to ultimates later in the game, I think that we're probably going to, like I said earlier, I mean, Joanna can interrupt Mosh, Kel'Thas can interrupt Mosh. If Lucio is really on target with his boop, he can interrupt Mosh. I mean, I guess Dahaka could tongue him, but I feel like he would probably just walk into it and then be dancing. Still, it could be a stage dive kind of game. It is a small map, though. I feel like Mosh is still a better option most of the time, particularly if you can set up for Jaina to land a solid ring. And a Blizzard, she can just do a ton of damage. It'll be interesting to see if the Sonya decides to go Wrath instead of Leap. With Leap, she gets so much stun power, like we saw in the last game. You can leap in and stun a target and just obliterate them, or at least really chunk them down. And obviously, that's definitely an option. But Wrath gives them a little more ability to do more damage overall. All right, it looks like everyone is ready to begin. Okay. All right, look at that. We're back. Okay, so they went ahead and took that bot camp. They're going to start putting a lot of pressure on this bot lane. It's going to mean that Reborn Knights is going to have to respond to that, and that's going to give ReGen time to get started on the shrine. However, Reborn Knights is leaving Sonya up there starting on that shrine. I wonder if ReGen is just going to give this one up to Reborn Knights. I mean, that is definitely an option. They could just do that. Soak, give up this first Punisher. Sonya by herself can do a fair bit of damage to that. Alright. So Dahaka soaking mid. There we go. Alright, so ReGen is heading up. Sonya's going to go ahead and back out. They only need 11 more minions. So they can definitely still fight this if they want. Dahaka's in a fair bit of trouble there. He's taking a lot of damage. Stukov comes out. Dahaka is down. However, ETC is on fire. He's burning. He's going to go down. So we are at a 1-for-1 on this team fight. Sonya's spinning to win. That stun is going to hurt. Nice juke of the Kael'thas. Kael'thas is very low. Lucio is healing him up, though. But it looks like they're going to back off, and Reborn Knights is going to go ahead and get this first Punisher. Well, nope, they are not going to back off. They're coming back in. ReGen is not done. Death timers are really short here, so people can get back in fights pretty fast. Tychus and Subway Slayer did a good job moving apart and not spreading the bombs. ReGen is trying to zone, keep Reborn Knights from getting in there. Danger pings are going out. Sonya is going in. He's doing some spinning. ETC is on fire. He spreads it to Stukov. Jaina is going very low. She is just about to die, but that silence means that Greymane has to back out. Greymane is really low, but he's going to make it out thanks to Lucio. And this first... Oh! And Kael'thas is going to fall to the Jaina, but Jaina is also going to fall. The exchange of the mages. Stukov is also down. They're going to get this Punisher, but they're not going to be able to get a whole lot done with it. Dahaka is already going to go ahead and soak. Reborn Knights lost the Punisher, but they are up a full level in experience. They're going to bait the Punisher over. Johanna falling really low. She is going to die to that Punisher. That is always unfortunate when that happens. Highmaker's gonna back up. 3-man coming at him. So the Punisher did get a tower, most of a wall. And it was denied to ReGen, so they couldn't just start running away with the game. ReGen's gonna go ahead and get their hard camp. They're really doing a good job of keeping pressure up, forcing Reborn Knights to respond to them. Reborn Knights, it looks like, is going to cycle down and work on getting their bot camp started. The nice thing about bot lane, if you can get control of the game, you can get up to 3 camps pushing at the same time. Looks like ReGen is actually looking at coming and invading this. Nope, they're going to just head bot. They're not going to try to invade quite yet. 10 is right around the corner, though, so they would definitely be up for a fight. They were waiting in the bush to see if Reborn Knights came down, but Reborn Knights decided not to do that rotation. They're just going to go mid and see if they can get some value with these minions going. Looks like they're going to go up and get their top camp. Sonya's working on clearing top. Dahaka's there. Gets the lick, but not much else happens with that. The lick. I find it pretty funny that, you know, the character licks people. Minions are pushing on bot. The mercenaries down there. So Reborn Knights is going to, again, they're going to have to respond and go clear that up. ReGen is getting a second camp. So they're going to have a camp going mid as well as the one going bot. Meanwhile, Sonya's pushing out that camp on top. She's not going to go too far. ReGen is pushing in mid. There's danger pings there. They might have suspected that Sonya was coming down. ETC is waiting to see if anybody is coming out. Sonya's pushing into Dahaka pretty hard. Alright, so they've got mid cleared up. The next shrine is going to spawn bot, but it's going to be a little while still. ETC's walking around. He decides to not go that way after all, since he doesn't know where the enemy team is.
The shrine gathers power. Claim it in my name.
Sonya is taking doing a fair job, but he's going to back up because his team pinged him that he needs to get out of there. ReGen was coming up. That was really good communication on the part of Reborn Knights to get their Sonya safe. Alright, and the next shrine is going to be spawning too soon. Both teams are 10. 13 is almost here. We see an Odin. Oh, I didn't even go over that, did I? Odin is out. Flames are down. He did take stage dive, and he used it right there to escape. Boops them away. Sonya's coming in. Really wanted to get on that kill fast, but unfortunately was not able to quite make that happen. They're having to back up. Lots of damage going down, but now Odin is down. Sonya does still have Wrath. Lucio still has Sound Barrier. Jaina still has her ring. Nobody died in that exchange, though. 13s are right around the corner for ReGen. I bet they're just kind of waiting. Reborn Knights is ahead once again on the shrine. Sonya's going in. Just popped Wrath. He's going to get on this shrine. Just stun onto Kael'thas. But now they counter stun on ETC, and he is going to fall. Shield barrier is going down. Now Reborn Knights is having to run out. Kael'thas connects. Jaina falls. That's also going to be a Sonya down. And ReGen is going to just say, thank you very much. We're gonna take this Punisher. Now those 13 talent tier kind of hit and just let them feel really confident about taking that fight. Alright, so ReGen's death timers are still pretty short. They will all be up to defend this. They'll probably lose their bottom fort, but I doubt they'll lose much more than that. So second Punisher does go over to ReGen. Reborn Knights has just decided that that fort is the deadest fort they have ever seen. They're going to just back on away and head top. They're still trying to get 13. Sonya is going soak mid, trying very hard to get them that 13 talent tier. She does not want them to have to take another fight down the tier like that. Punisher is over the wall. Odin is going out once again. He's going to put a lot of damage out onto the team and onto the Punisher that way. I'm not really sure how I feel about Odin being used quite like that. I don't know. But they do manage to kill the Punisher. They did lose their fort. Keep is missing a wall, but is still quite healthy. They're going to be able to clean all this up pretty easily. Dahaka is getting a fair bit of damage done on that top fort. If they're not careful, they may lose it as well. Meanwhile, ReGen is just going to get back to camping. They are up 3 levels. They don't really feel any need to engage in fights that they don't feel are advantageous to them, and that makes sense. In fact, they saw themselves in ETC and tried to grab a gank, but they were able to back on out of there. Not really a whole lot Reborn Knights can do about this fight. I recommend not standing in the flame strikes. They're doing a good job of not spreading the bombs too much. But ReGen is just really able to put their macro up there. So Odin, Flailing Swipe, Wrath, Stage Dive, Ring of Frost, Sound Barrier, Blessed Shield, Curse Bullet, Isolation, and Phoenix. Isolation is interesting as opposed to adaptation. It says to me that Dahaka is not terribly worried about taking a lot of damage. He more wants to probably get that Sonya out of being able to do much of anything if he jumps into the middle of them, which is reasonable. Worked for them. So now we're just kind of back to rotations. ReGen is pushing out the map. Sonya is in a bit of trouble here. The gank is coming in. The silence is out. He has been licked, and he is dead. That's basically going to give them a free top fort here. They do have their camp also pushing in. Reborn Knights is just kind of trying to soak. They may go take this bottom camp since they do know that red team is all top. If they can take that bottom camp and get some pressure going, that at least gives them the chance to counter pressure. But they're going to probably have to come back and defend this keep. ReGen is looking to take this keep, or at least take the wall off of it and open it up. Shrine is coming up, so they're going to go ahead and back off there. 16 is approaching for Reborn Knights. They're probably going to try to get it, but I don't know if they can get it in the next 14 seconds. Meanwhile, ReGen is heading to take that mid fort. They don't want ReGen to have anywhere to go to. Stage dive is going out. ETC is going to try to engage, but it doesn't land on anyone. So now here we are. 16 is not quite acquired for Reborn Knights yet. Jaina is going to go up to soak that top wave. Tychus is just going to throw some grenades. Sonya's going to go take a camp. They're just going to try to get 16 before they engage in another fight. I do have to say I love the Tychus summer skin. I know much of the country is in snow. So with 16 approaching, ReGen's still a little slow. They are going to be really close on this. Reborn Knights has decided they want to engage. They have hit 16. They are going to go in. Sonya's going in. Living bombs are out, spreading around. And Phoenix is down. Sonya's kind of separated, but Reborn Knights is also separated. Odin has been popped, but it's not really going to be landing on anyone. They're just going to use it to clear the Punisher up. They're going to keep backing up because this fort is not going to last very long. They're going to go ahead and back on up to their keep and defend there. 20 is close for ReGen. If Reborn Knights wants to take a fight, they probably need to do it pretty soon here. They're going to bait the Punisher over. The double flame strike goes out. That is probably pretty uncomfortable to stand in. Living bomb is out on the Sonya, but luckily she is able to stay away from everyone. Frozen Punisher's going. ReGen is going to back up. Reborn Knights is going to give a bit of a chase. They really want an engagement now. Stage dive is coming out. Lands right on the Kael'thas. Fortunately, the other team is not there quite yet to follow up. Ring misses everybody. Blizzard is doing a lot of damage, but ETC goes down. Living bomb is on the Sonya. Jaina also falls. They just weren't able to get in there with the ETC and get on that Jaina, and they are not done yet. Silence on the Stukov, and he is also down. Kael'thas is chasing Tychus, but I do believe Tychus will be able to mount up and get away. ReGen is going to cycle up. They're going to probably take that top keep. They are level 20. They have just really done a great job with their macro. Odin is popped and going in. But Sonya is taking a ton of damage. That's fun. He got licked by the Dahaka. Worgen form is up. 40% more damage in that form. And he is going to go down. And he figures while he's over here, he'll work on that ETC. But he is going to fall. Jaina threw a cone of cold in his face. She had enough of his Worgen business. Meanwhile, ReGen's just going to back up and take the hard camp. They know that they don't have a Sonya to come after them and that they really need to get their keeps cleared out, so they're not feeling terribly threatened right now. Reborn Knights is going to take a minute. They're going to clean up all of this, try to keep their lanes pushed out. They do have to worry about top lane pretty much all the time now. ReGen, meanwhile, is just going to go down and take those bot lane camps like we talked about. They really need to... Like I said, the bot lane is a great lane because you can put a lot of camp pressure on it, particularly later in the game when you have a lot of control like this. Reborn Knights really has to focus on keeping catapults pushed out on that top lane. They're trying to get 20, but their lanes are pushed out, so they can't go too far right now. It does complicate that process. Joanna's doing a great job being an anchor. She's kind of just out there looking in case they decide to try to engage on them, so they can have an eye on where they might be. With lanes pushed out as much as they are, Reborn Knights unfortunately just doesn't quite know where they are, but they have to know that they are heading to the shrine top soon. They're not. They're waiting to see if they can catch them on a rotation. So they have decided to just go ahead and head up to the shrine. Looks like Lucio was debating whether they wanted to take that camp or not, but they're just going to go ahead and head to the shrine and get started there as soon as it spawns. Reborn Knights is really going to need to take this fight, even though they are down. 20-minute Punisher almost. They don't have a keep in that lane. That could definitely be a win condition. I don't know what the best decision here is for them, but it looks like they are at least considering coming down for the fight. They're kind of posturing up. This is rapidly going to... Nope, they're going to just back up, clear the lane, and prepare to defend, probably at the core. Jaina and Tychus are trying to get some soak.
Red team has summoned
I think they were hoping to maybe hit 20 before this Punisher gets to them, but that's just... They don't have enough time, unfortunately, to do that. Sonya's going to spin away. They want to take this fight to the core. Jaina and Tychus are coming in. They might try to get on this Dahaka. See if they can pick this Dahaka out. He is going to burrow and move along. He is stunned, though. He's going to take a lot of damage. Murda is going to fall here. So they do have one out. However, ReGen is otherwise on the core with the Punisher and Catapult. It's going to start falling pretty rapidly. Wrath has been popped, but lots of damage going out. The flailing swipe, the ring does hit Johanna. Unfortunately, there was no follow-up blizzard, and Jaina died from a bomb before she could get back in. Keep is falling, and core is 9%, and that is game 2. Solid game by ReGen. Really great macro play. Well done. Well done. So, all right. That's our games. I will I'll see if anybody wants to come and chat.